Good evening, students. Welcome to Learn Affair. This is the third lecture of evolution series, and in this particular lecture, we will talk about the geological time scale. Okay, we will also discuss how different animals and plants evolved or came into existence, and different changes in atmosphere or the structure of Earth. Okay, so let's start. What is evolutionary or geological time scale? Okay, basically this time scale is a parameter, or we can say a calendar of earth history. Okay, this is the calendar of earth history. Okay, it shows when life started very initially, and due to big events like extinctions, how it changed. Okay, and scientists make this scale using rocks, fossils, and dating methods. Clear? Then, just like we divide a year into month, week, and days, similarly we can divide the earth history into eons, era, period, and epoch. Okay, so epoch is basically the smallest division of the geological time scale, and it lasts around several million years. Then period is the basic unit of geological time scale, and two or more geological periods comprise an era. Clear? Then eons are the largest intervals of geological time scale. A single eon cover a period of several hundreds of millions of years. Okay, here you can see, let me show you. If we talk about the eons, there are three eons, four: Hadean, Archean, Proterozoic, and Phanerozoic. Okay, and these three eons, Hadean, Archean, and Proterozoic eons, are collectively known as Cambrian eons. Okay, further, the eras are divided into Cenozoic, Mesozoic, and Paleozoic. Similarly, these are the different periods, and these are the epochs. We will discuss about all these terms and the changes occurred in these particular time periods one by one. Let's start with Precambrian ion eon. Let's start with Precambrian eon. I already told you that uh, the Hadean, Archean, and Proterozoic eons are collectively known as Precambrian. Okay, the first three eons, Hadean, Archean, and Proterozoic eons, are collectively referred as Precambrian ions, and this is the oldest eons of the Earth. The period between the formation of Earth around 5600 million years ago in the beginning of Cambrian period is named as the Precambrian eon. Clear? So Precambrian eon is the time period between formation of Earth, which is sorry 4.6 billion years ago, okay, or 46 million years ago, to the beginning of Cambrian period. This particular time is referred as Precambrian eon. Okay, this time period accounts for 88% of the total geological time. Okay, then the fossil record is very poor of this particular time scale. Now let us discuss about the Hadean Eon in detail. This particular eon existed 4.6 to 4 billion years ago. Okay, the word Hadean comes from the Greek word Hades, which means hell-like earth. It means this eon refers to the time when the earth just formed from the solar nebula around 4.6 billion years ago. Okay, when the earth just formed, and uh, we can say the primitive earth, in which the atmosphere was reducing in nature, basically consists of gases like carbon dioxide, ammonia, methane were there, and no oxygen was present in this particular time scale. Okay, so surface condition of the earth were conditions were extremely hot, volcanic activity was there. Okay, constant asteroid bombardment was there. Okay, also moon was formed from a giant impact according to Theia hypothesis, and as I already told you, atmosphere was reducing. Okay, hydrosphere, first ocean formed as earth cooled after uh, after a long gap of a million of years, when the temperature of the earth cooled down. Okay, oceans formed, and in this particular eon, or in this particular time phase, no life was present. Okay, but prebiotic chemistry, or we can say organic molecules, were present in the oceans or formed the primordial soup. What is the significance of this stage? Okay, this particular time scale is considered as the foundation stage of the earth's environment, where conditions uh, set for life. Then Archean eon, which is considered 4 to 2.5 billion years ago. The word Archean came from the Greek word which means origin of life. Okay, in this particular time scale, or in this particular time period, there were the formation of continental cratons, or we can say early continents were formed in this time period, and the first prokaryotes also appeared or arised in this time scale around 3.8 to 3.5 billion years ago. Fossil evidence says that stromatolites, which were the layered structure found by cyanobacteria, are also found. Uh, Stromatolites are also present at that time, formed by cyanobacteria. Photosynthesis, cyanobacteria performed oxygenic photosynthesis in that time. Atmosphere still had low oxygen, but oxygen bubbles appeared locally. What is the significance? This particular time period is considered as the birth of life. Okay, in this time scale, the first life appeared. Then the Proterozoic eons existed 2.5 to 0.54 billion years ago. The word Proterozoic means earlier life. Okay, in this time scale, the oxygen released by cyanobacteria accumulated in the atmosphere, and due to this accumulation of oxygen, ozone layer was formed in the Proterozoic eon. Okay, eukaryotes also came into existence around 2.4 billion years ago. Okay, cells with nuclei evolved. Evidence, what is the evidence? Grippania, which is early eukaryotic fossil. Then multicellular organisms also came into existence, like algae. Okay, also came into existence. Then Rodinia supercontinent also formed around this time period, 1.3 to 0.9 billion years ago. Then also global glaciations were also there. Okay, Ediacaran biota, which means the first large soft-bodied multicellular organisms were present there. What is the significance of this time scale? This time scale is considered as the foundation of complex life, where oxygen, eukaryotes, and multicellularity came into existence. Then Phanerozoic Eon, okay, which existed around 541 million years ago and till present. Okay, the word Phanerozoic means visible life. Okay, in this time period, Cambrian explosion took place. Okay, around 541 million years ago. Sudden appearance of most animal phyla. We can say the animal phyla came into existence in the Phanerozoic iron. Okay, and we can divide Phanerozoic eon into Paleozoic era, Mesozoic era, and Cenozoic era. Okay, in Paleozoic era, fishes, amphibians, reptiles, and land plants appeared. In Mesozoic era, dinosaurs, first mammals, and birds, as well as the flowering plants, came into existence. Then, Cenozoic era. In this era, mammals dominated all the other species, and there were primates also, and human evolution also started in this time period. Then mass extinction, five major events shaped biodiversity. Example: Permian extinction, Cretaceous extinction. These kind of extinctions, okay, shaped the biodiversity. Then modern humans also appeared 2 lakh years ago, okay, in Holocene epochs. What is the significance? This is the era of abundant, diverse, and complex life. Okay, from trilobites to humans. Here you can see all of these things are mentioned. You can see. Then coming to eras. Okay, we have also discussed in earlier slides that Phanerozoic era is divided into Phanerozoic eon is divided into three eras. The same thing is mentioned over here, that the Phanerozoic eon is divided into three major eras. First is Paleozoic era, okay, which existed 540 to 252 million years ago. This particular era is known as the age of ancient life. Okay, life started diversifying in oceans. Okay, Cambrian explosion occurs, which means the appearance of animal groups. First fishes, amphibians, and land plants appeared in this particular time period, and this era ended with the Permian extinction, the largest extinction in the history. Animal groups like cockroaches, trilobites, jawless fishes, jawed fishes, okay, and these kind of uh, animal phyla appeared in this time scale. Then the major periods in Paleozoic era. In this image, we have seen that this is Paleozoic era, and these are the different periods. Okay, let us discuss all these periods. First is the Cambrian period. Okay, in this period, the first hard-shelled animals, or we can say trilobites, came into existence. Early plants were small, unicellular, filamentous, and composed mostly of soft-bodied tissues. with simple branching uh, appeared, and marine multicellular filamentous algae evolved in oceans. Okay, when we talk about the land plants, they were very small, unicellular, filamentous, and soft bodied. Okay, but marine multicellular filamentous algae evolved in the oceans in this period. Then Ordovician period, first fish marine life flourished in this time scale, and the dominance of marine and green algae was there. The fossils of Kara and red algae were reported from the sediments of the period. Okay, so in this particular period, we can say the first fish arrived in the Ordovician period, and also there was the dominance of the marine and green algae in this period. Then Silurian period, first land plants, proper plants. Okay, proper land plants were appeared in this time period. These are the significant observations, like mild climate was there, stable and warm temperature was there in this time. The first fossil records of vascular plants existed in the Silurian period, land plants with vascular tissues. In Cambrian period, you can see that only unicellular filamentous, means primitive kind of plants were present. But in the Silurian period, the land plants uh, consist of consisted of the vascular tissues. All of these appeared in the Silurian period. Then Devonian period is known as the age of fishes. First amphibians, sorry, first amphibians also appeared in this period, and also mountains begin to form. Okay, climate become drier, sea covered most of the land, green vegetation started growing, fern vegetation evolved at the end, like Rhynia, Coleohyptum, etc. Age of fishes like sharks and rays were also appeared in this, means they were fishes were in the dominant form. Okay, by the late Devonian period, forest of large primitive plant existed, like lycophytes, sphenophytes, ferns, and progymnosperms had evolved in this period. Then Carboniferous period, coal forest, giant insects, reptiles appeared in the Carboniferous period. The main early Carboniferous plants were the equisetails, Staphylophales, and Lycopodiales. Like these kind of plants, Carboniferous plants were appeared, or we can say came into existence. They continued to dominate throughout the period, but during late Carboniferous period, several other groups like Cycadophyta, okay, Calistophytales, all of these plant groups also appeared, and also in this time period, Gymnosperm also arisen. Then Permian period, reptiles also diversified. They were came into existence in Carboniferous period, but they diversified in the Permian period, but ended up with mass extinction. The swamp-loving lycopode trees of the Carboniferous, such as Lepidodendron, Sigillaria, were replaced by more advanced conifers, which were better adapted to the changing climatic condition, and rise of conifers was also observed in this period. Then this was Paleozoic era. Then talking about the second type, Mesozoic era. Okay, from 252 to 66 million years ago. This era is known as the age of reptiles and dinosaurs. In this era, dinosaurs ruled the land. First mammals and birds appeared in the Mesozoic era. Okay, and flowering plants uh, like angiosperms evolved in this particular era, and this era ended up with Cretaceous extinction due to asteroids impact, which killed the dinosaurs. So this is the age of reptiles. Okay, age of conifers, age of dinosaurs. Birds also appeared, small mammals also appeared. Flowering plants like angiosperm also appeared in this era. Okay, these are the major periods of Mesozoic era: Triassic, Jurassic and Cretaceous period. In Triassic period, first dinosaur, first mammals, seed ferns became extinct. Sorry, first dinosaur and first mammals appeared. Okay, but the seed ferns become extinct, whereas the number of cycads, conifers and ginkgogales increased in this period, and this period is the known as the age of cycads. Clear? Then Jurassic period. In this particular period, dinosaur dominate. Okay, first bird also came into existence in Jurassic period, and origin of angiosperm was also observed in this particular period, and rise in the number of leptosporangiate ferns. Conifers dominated the flora, as during the Triassic there were most diverse group and constituted the majority of the last trees. Okay, here you can see last trees are there. Okay, then Cretaceous period, flowering plants angiosperm appeared. Dinosaur extinct at the end due to asteroid impact, and flowering plants, also known as angiosperms, spread during this period. Their evolution was aided by the appearance of bees. In fact, angiosperm and insects are a good example of coevolution. Clear? Then third is Cenozoic era. Cenozoic era is known as age of mammals. Okay, dinosaur extincted. Okay, dinosaur become extinct in the early Cenozoic era. Then uh, this is the age of mammals. First primates came into existence. Okay, grasslands become dominated, and this laid the foundation of the modern earth. Okay, primates like apes were also uh, in abundant form. Then there was stone age of early humans. Okay, then homo sapiens came into existence. In this era, mammals became dominant after dinosaur died. Birds, flowering plants and insects spread widely, and evolution of primates, and finally humans, the homo sapiens species, came into existence. These are the major periods in Cenozoic era. First is Paleogene. Okay, early mammals and first primates came into existence. Tropical and subtropical forest widespread during Paleocene and Eocene. Okay, expansion of angiosperms. Okay, which replaced the gymnosperm in most ecosystem. First grasses appeared in the late Paleogene. Okay, mammals diversified greatly. Insectivorous gave rise to modern groups such as primates, carnivores and ungulates. Okay, early primates appeared in the Paleogene uh, period. Then the Neogene, evolution of horses, apes and first humans occurred in this period. Then major expansion of grasslands like savanna and prairies due to global cooling and drying. Forests reduced in many regions. Evolution of C4 grasses adapted to drier conditions. Herbivorous mammals like horses, camels, antelopes, and elephants adapted to grazing, and predators like cat, dogs, and hyenas co-evolved with the grazing mammals. Then the Quaternary period. The Ice Age was a part of the Quaternary period, and evolution of modern humans was observed in the Quaternary period. Forest expanded again, and human began domesticating plants, or we can say in this period the human start doing the agriculture stuff. And large mammals like we can say megafauna like mammoths, saber-toothed cats, giant sloths were present in this in that particular period. Extinctions during and after Ice Age, all these animals, we can say megafauna, were extincted after the Ice Age due to climatic change plus human hunting. Here is the concise form of all these periods, and you can see here what were the changes observed in which period. Okay, then the last unit of the smallest unit of the geological time scale, which is epoch. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. First is Paleocene epoch. Okay, this particular epoch was ranging from 66 to 56 million years ago, and in this epoch the climate was warm and humid, and mammals expanded after dinosaurs extinction, and primitive primates appeared. Okay, so here we can say this was the beginning of the mammal diversification. Then Eocene, okay, occurred 56 to 34 million years ago, and the climate was very warm. Okay, and modern mammals like whales, bats, horses came into existence, and uh, the first grasses were appeared in this particular epoch. Then mammals became well adapted, and earliest whales uh, arose in this epoch. Then Oligocene. In Oligocene, which existed 34 to 23 million years ago, and comparatively the climate was cooler and drier. First true ape appeared, grassland also expanded. We can say the separation of old world monkeys and apes occurred in this particular epoch. And then the Miocene epoch. In Miocene epoch, which existed 23 to uh, 5 point sorry 2.3 3.4 5.3 million years ago. Okay, no, it's 23, 34, and 56. The climate was warm, stable, and later it was much cooler. Apes diversified, ancestors of humans start evolving, and modern horses also appeared. Okay, we can say the golden age of apes is Miocene period, epoch. Sorry. Then Pliocene, 5.3 to 2.6 million years ago. The climate was cooler and drier. Early human ancestors like Australopithecus existed in this epoch, and modern elephants, camel, and horses were also there. And this was the beginning of the Ice Age cycle. Then Pleistocene, 2.6 to 11,700 years ago. Repeated ice ages. Okay, mammoths, saber-toothed cats, Homo erectus, Neanderthal, and Homo sapiens evolved in this particular epoch, and ice age extinction started. Okay, humans spread across continents. Then Holocene, from 11,700 years to the present, warm and stable climate is there. Human developed agriculture, cities, and civilizations, and this is the present epoch. Okay, human dominance on Earth. This particular epoch shows the dominance of humans on the Earth. These were the major events in the evolutionary time scale. 4.6 billion years ago, Earth was formed and no life was there. 3.8 to 3.5 billion years ago, first life came into existence, prokaryotes and cyanobacteria. 2.4 billion years ago, oxygen revolution occurred. 2 billion years ago, first eukaryotic cells came into existence. From 1.5 to 1 billion years ago, first multicellular organism arise. Okay, 541 million years ago, Cambrian explosion occurred. Okay, diversification of animal life. 475 to 400 million years ago, first land plants and animals came into existence. In the Devonian period, which was the age of fishes and first amphibians, Carboniferous, Coalforest and first reptiles were there. 252 million years ago, Permian extinction, okay, which was the largest mass extinction. Then the Mesozoic, which was the age of reptiles. Dinosaur, first mammals, birds, flowering plants were there. 66 million years ago, Cretaceous extinction was there. Dinosaur when extincted. Then Cenozoic era, which was the age of mammals. Primates also evolved in this particular time. 6 million years ago, early human ancestors, hominins, were existed. 2 lakh years ago, modern humans, which is the Homo sapiens species, came into existence, and 11,700 years ago to present, Holocene epoch is there, and the human developed agriculture and civilizations. Now, how unicellular and multicellular organisms formed. Okay, first the formation of unicellular cells. Okay, 4.6 to 4 billion years ago, okay, Earth was formed. There was no oxygen. Okay, gases like methane, ammonia, carbon dioxide and water vapors were present there. Okay, and oceans contained primordial soup. Then chemical evolution occurred. Energy from lightning, UV rays and volcanoes, okay, made simple molecules joined to form amino acid, sugars and nucleotide. This process was shown by the Miller and Urey experiment in 1953. Then these amino acid, sugars and nucleotide form more complex cells known as the protocells. Okay, fatty molecules formed bubbles in waters called micelles, trapping organic molecule inside, and these protocells were not alive but were the stepping stone to the real cells. Then the first eukaryotic cell came into existence in 3.8 to 3.5 billion years ago, and life began as unicellular prokaryotes. Bacteria like organisms were there. At first they were anaerobic, and later cyanobacteria developed photosynthesis producing oxygen, and then the first eukaryotic organisms came into existence in around 2 billion years ago. More complex unicellular organism appeared with a nucleus and organelles. Okay, endosymbiotic theory explained this. Small bacteria became permanent parts of larger cells like mitochondria and chloroplast. Then the formation of multicellular cells. First, the unicellular organisms like bacteria, okay, or cyanobacteria started living in groups, or we can say colonies. Over time, these cells began dividing work among themselves. Okay, this is known as colonial lifestyle. Then cells become specialized for different functions like movement, feeding and reproduction. Okay, in multicellular cell we know that there is the division of labor. Okay, so cells become specialized for different functions, and this particular thing marked the rise of the multicellular organism. Okay, then the multicellular algae appeared first around 600 to 540 million years ago. Okay, soft body animals evolved. Then Cambrian explosion around 541 million years ago, a sudden burst of diverse multicellular life form occurred, and many major animal groups like trilobites and mollusk echinoderms appeared. Okay, this was the formation of the multicellular cells when the unicellular organisms started living in groups and they divided the work among themselves. Okay, so basically aggregation was the basis of the formation of multicellular cells. So that's all in today's topic. Okay, this was a very short topic and very concise. Okay, you have to learn all these uh, events. Okay, there is not so much to explain, or yeah, you can learn all these changes. It is very important according to the exam point of view. And in the next lecture we will talk about the population genetics. Clear? So thank you so much. And if you want these presentations or other notes or other study material, you can mail us at official.launchaffair.11 at gmail.com. Thank you so much.